Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go.
Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, back for boxing. Now, Errol Spence, Errol the Truth Spence, man, on ESPN, clowning, talking trash about Keith one-time Thurman and dismissing Terrence Crawford as even a threat at all at 147. Now, if you guys watch my channel, I made a video talking about how Terrence Crawford will go at 147, right? I made it a couple days ago, actually. I talked about how Terrence Crawford is too small and how there's been a lot of hype jobs who went up in weight and lost to at 147, you know? And it's crazy because as soon as I say that, a few days later, Erroll the Truth Spence, IBF welterweight champion, agrees, man. He says it himself that Terrence Crawford, he's sort of a threat, but not really, because he has to get past Jeff Horn first, but he doesn't even know if he can handle even the contenders at 147. So that was pretty wild that Errol Spence said that, because I feel exactly the same way. I think that Terrence Crawford does have some really good opposition at 147 that are not even champions. They're not even champions. So it's crazy that Errol Spence thinks the same thing. Me and these world champions think on the same level, man. On the same level. So that's sort of wild, man. And Errol Spence also talked about Keith Thurman as well. He talked about how apparently Keith Thurman got the call to fight Errol Spence, and Keith Thurman didn't pick up. So apparently, Keith Thurman is not picking up the calls from Al Heyman about these fights. You know what I mean? He's not picking up the phone at all. I heard he had a fight way back. He has a fight, but he could have planned it down the line, for a future fight with Errol Spence. But no, that's not the case with Keith one-time Thurman. Apparently, one time a year is all he wants to do. Fight one time a year. Now, that's pretty wild, man. It's funny that they said that. Now, Errol Spence did touch on Lamont Pearson. He thinks it's going to be a great fight. He thinks it's going to be a competitive fight. He talked about how great Lamont Pearson was at 140. He had some good fights he had, and how he's a tough, rugged opponent, and how it's going to be a good fight. But this interview is more focused on the champions coming up and the current unified champion, Keith one-time Thurman. Now, it was just really funny to see Errol Spence say this on such a big platform. ESPN is one of the biggest sports networks in America by far. I mean, it's the biggest. Let's be honest. It's the biggest platform for sports. And he basically just went up and said, Keith Thurman is not accepting a call for my challenge. And that's big news, man. That's big news. Keith Thurman, he talks a lot of trash, but it's really on smaller outlets. Nothing has anything over ESPN. Let's just be honest, right? It's free TV. Anyone can watch it, So it's wild that Errol Spence basically just said, Keith one-time Thurman don't want this, And he basically said, Terrence Crawford, that guy is just small. He even talked about how big the guys are and how quick we are at 147, And I talked about in my video how these guys at 147, they're just bigger, right? Back in the day, you had a lot of smaller fighters getting titles at 147, but nowadays you got bigger fighters dropping down, right? I talked about how Keith one-time Thurman used to be the 154 WBA champion, international champion at 154, right? And then he went down. Sean Porter used to be a former 160 fighter, and then he went down. A lot of these top elite fighters went down in weight at one point in time. Even Kell Brook, he 147 his whole career, but he went up 160, and he looked pretty good at 160. He took punches pretty well. Yeah, he got hurt and everything, but he wasn't knocked out. He didn't get dropped or anything. That's at least, yeah, he didn't get dropped. When he fought Triple G. So if you think of it that way, a lot of these 147 fighters like Kell Brook, he didn't get dropped when he fought Triple G once. The thing is, they just threw in the towel. But when he would drop back down 147, he was taking knees and he was getting hurt because the fact of the matter is, these are really bigger fighters. I think Kell Brook looked a little better at 160. He looked a little quicker. He looked like he had better stamina. Even when he was getting hit with Triple G, he didn't look hurt. He just looked like it was inevitable. It was probably going to happen anyway. But he was taking those punches. He didn't look exhausted and like he did in Errol Spence fight, how Errol Spence broke him down to the body, and that basically took his stamina away. So basically, Errol Spence thinks Terrence Crawford's too small for 147. I always thought the same thing. I know Terrence Crawford's too small for 147, just like Danny's too small for 147, just like Adrian Broner's too small for 147. And just like, a lot of other fighters who came up undefeated at below 140 or 140 and below, and then went to 147 and started taking L's. So it's pretty wild that Errol Spence says this, man. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Do you guys think that Terrence Crawford isn't too small for 147? Errol Spence talks about Terrence Crawford. He thinks he can beat Jeff Horn, but he thinks he's gonna outbox him. He's not gonna stop him or anything. So even when Errol Spence thinks Crawford's better, he thinks he's gonna box him. He don't think he can actually pose a physical threat to Jeff Horn. He just has to hurt him. Box him, because he can't physically impose himself on Jeff Horn. That's what Errol Spence said. So I linked it in the interview. I linked the whole thing. It's only like 4 or 5 minutes. Really, really quick. Really interesting stuff, man. So let me know how you guys feel about it. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geobasket Empire. Peace.